Alrighty everyone, welcome back. As we get closer to the middle of January of 2023, it's been beginning to really live up to expectations when it comes to Jon and Dave and what they are about to provide with shows out there like Mando Season 3, which by the way, the trailer does debut tonight. Get very excited for it because it's looking fantastic. We also have the Ahsoka Tano series geared up for this summer that will actually be heavily teased at Star Wars Celebration in April. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the kind and great support. Now that brings us to, of course, exactly what's going on with the sequel trilogy films and how Disney has a very strategic plan to remake those movies in a very specific way that is not the way that you think. So we're going to be diving into every detail about that and exactly what's going on. These are the plans, by the way, that they initially had to get these out by the end of this year. That got delayed by a whole year and a half that they're still working on. Basically, what they are about to do is that they are about to completely add new meaning to all three films to an extent. And the thing about Bob Iger, right, is that it comes off as being a little bit desperate perhaps, or maybe even doing something that's not necessary, but I will admit, this at the very minimum will be entertaining. Do I think it's gonna really change the fans' minds of how they think about the sequels? I really don't think so. I'm gonna be real with you guys, I really don't believe it will, but I think it will be an icing on the cake to kind of at least add more entertainment value to episodes 7 through 9. So let's tap into this exactly, what they are planning to do, and exactly what's in the process now that is finally moving forward after being a little bit stagnant for a couple of months. However, alright, with many new Star Wars TV shows currently in the works, creators Jon and Dave Filoni are beginning to develop new unannounced projects in the works. It's described, however, that recently creator Jon Favreau did with the Star Wars fandom. However, it's described that Disney now has a full strategized plan to remake the sequel trilogy movies in the form of special editions, with recently updated techniques that they will be using. Now, Disney CEO Bob Iger is debating on whether or not these should be re-released in theaters or just put on Disney+. Each film will be elongated. However, only The Rise of Skywalker will be a very lengthy version as it had the most deleted content. The special editions are considered to be Disney's attempt to remake the current sequel trilogy movies by adding in new special moments to existing scenes and giving them new meaning, and also providing deleted moments and scenes to become a part of the new cuts of these films. So let me just pause here quick for a second. For a big example here about what they're going to do with The Last Jedi is that you guys may recall that in The Last Jedi comic, it's heavily implied that the Force ghosts of the past are reaching out to Luke, telling him how to become one with the Force, essentially. And of course, what they are about to do with The Last Jedi is by adding in Force ghosts of Anakin, Kenobi, and Yoda behind Luke as he is closing his eyes using that Force projection technique. It's little things like that, little insertions, that's going to add new meaning to certain moments, and also adding in completely deleted scenes that we have never seen before. That's really going to kind of reframe the sequel trilogy and kind of give it a brand new tone, if you will. So it's things like that. Now, of course, both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi did not have all that much deleted content. It's mostly The Rise of Skywalker, which, by the way, has so much deleted scenes, to the point where it could have been made into a Part 2 film. In fact, Chris Terrio talked about this, the co-writer of the movie, that they had so much extra footage they could have easily made a Rise of Skywalker Part 2. That's how much stuff got deleted and filmed when Kathleen Kennedy was really running the show. Just goes to show you that this movie really could have been a two-parter if they wanted to do it that way. And I think that they should have. I think that would have been a little bit more different and fun, and I know it breaks tradition in Star Wars, but it would have really given Luke the time and the limelight that he deserved, because he's got a lot of flashbacks that were filmed that were just completely wasted. So, moving on to the next big thing here, about what's in store for, of course, The Rise of Skywalker, and this is where things really begin to live up, is that one big scene that is about to become a part of the special edition of Rise of Skywalker are the Force ghosts of the past surrounding Rey and helping her get up. This was filmed and Hayden was also involved, however the scene was completely scrapped. Ghosts like Mace Windu, Anakin, Kenobi, Luke, Luminara, and others are set to become a part of the ending. Deleted footage of Palpatine using a lightsaber against Ben Solo will also be provided, and this is just a short list of what's to come for the Episode 9 Special Edition. Now, on top of this too, they're going to be using extra John Williams themes and music that went unused for the final cuts of the movies, and that's also another thing to look forward to. Now, again, like I say, is this necessarily going to fix the Star Wars fans' thoughts or perception of the sequel trilogy movies? It's really unlikely, to be honest. I mean, it could change it to a degree. I don't think it's going to completely change fans' minds around where the sequel trilogy, haters, per se, are just not going to turn around and become heavy supporters of them. I don't think it's going to be like that. But I think that you're going to see them finding them to be more interesting and a little bit more, catching or having a bit more of a hook, right? Those movies didn't have much of a hook in the beginning, middle, and or end, to me at least, because there were great moments, but they were so short and they just cut off so fast. When you think about it, Palpatine in The Rise of Skywalker really doesn't do all that much in that movie, if you really think about it. At most, all he really does is shoot Force lightning at Rey and then just meet his demise. That's basically what he really does. Sure, he gets to do the Force lightning in the sky, stuff like that, but add it all up, it comes down to like 30 seconds, 40 seconds max. Anyways, moving on to the next thing is that they will also be using a special form of color correction and color grading to actually give a new look to these movies, visually speaking. So not only are they going to be remade artistically and thematically, but they're also going to be remade in a visual sense, and to kind of give fans a different view of the films. So obviously, this is a big deal. This is something that they're heavily working on. John and Dave have already met up with Bob Iger about this very detailed plan to get these out by the end of 2024 now. Maybe, if they're lucky, get it out by the fall of 2024, the earliest. And there's a lot of work that's being put into this. They want to make sure that they can basically do something that's going to be very successful. And I'm not quite sure if it's really going to fix anything, like I said before, but I do believe that they should provide it on Disney Plus. I'm not quite sure if fans would really go out to the theaters to see these, at least in the masses. Sure, you'll get people to go ahead and see them, but I don't think it's going to be the masses. So it's going to be a tough call on their end. Theaters or Disney Plus, movies or streaming. What do you do, right? So that's all up to Bob Iger and the Disney board on what they want to do with that. But anyways, guys, regardless, it is exciting stuff, and let me know what you guys have to say about all this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again. No